The Love Song Podcast, the Love Song Media Production. I'm T Love. Welcome into another episode. Before I start, I want to give some love out to my sponsor, Shirts and More, located at 2517 Jacob Street in Wheeling, West Virginia. Shirts and More is a family-owned business, and for over 40 years, they have been providing the best and most professional garments on the market. Let Tracy, Braxton, or Dana, or any of their friendly staff at Shirts and More help you with your next apparel need. You can contact them at 304-232-2030. Tell them T Love sent you. Guarantee you they'll take care of you. If you follow my podcast, then you know I am really big on being an American over being a Democrat or a Republican. Episode 33 is going to give you a very big insight as to what I'm talking about. And I haven't done a lot of research into this because it is a story that just dropped within the last 24 hours. It's a story that I first saw in the Indian news cycle. I'm like, this can't be right. And then when I followed up in the American media, I did validate it on a couple different sites in America as well. But episode 33 is entitled American over Dem or Repub. Be an American before you are a Democrat or Republican. This story right here is going to illustrate why I feel the way I feel about things. It just happens to be a Democrat. I will do my due diligence over the next week or so to find a right-wing story as well. If you're watching this and you got a right-wing story you want to share, you can send it to me. Comment on YouTube. I'm also on TikTok. Like, share, subscribe is how I build my channel, and I do appreciate that. A radical Israel-hating California teacher claims she married a Gaza resident online to help him gain American citizenship and push her pro-Palestinian agenda. Like I said, when I read that headline, I'm like, this is fake. You know, it had to be satire. And then I typed in this lady's name. I had a half a dozen to 10 different news agencies that put it out there. I took mine off of a foreign press site. And again, I say this every single episode almost. If you want to know what's going on in America, stop watching Fox, MS Now, CNN, ABC, CBS. Stop watching American media. Republic News, World Republic News out of India, Al Jazeera, and BBC do a phenomenal job of delivering the news that's going on in America without all of the fanfare, without the Democrat or the Republican tilt slant. You know, there's just not a lot of it. It's boring, but it's factual. It's accurate. And I love it because I don't have to listen to, you know, anyone on Fox give me their pro-Trump spin. I don't have to listen to anyone on the left side giving me their anti-Trump spin or their pro-Obama or pro-Biden. You know what I mean? So I'm so sick of this. It's crazy. This lady's name is Laura Pinho, Pinho. She is a dance teacher at Canoga Park Senior High School in California. She announced her nuptials in a wild June 16th Code Pink Zoom webinar called Challenging Zionism in Our Schools. When Code Pink activist Marcy Winograd congratulated her on her marriage and asked her to share details about her life, Pinho, 51, launched into a pedantic monologue about how she only married Salam Abu Amra to advance Palestinian rights and freedoms. You heard me correctly. She only married Salam Abu Amra to advance Palestinian rights and freedoms. Quoting, I have power as an American citizen. I have a passport that I was just born with. And how can I live in this world if I don't make every effort to equalize the playing field on whatever way that I can? She said in a webinar first uncovered by the North American Values Institute. Englewood, New Jersey Mayor Michael Wild, who is also an immigration attorney and former federal prosecutor in the Eastern District of New York, told this news outlet that Pinho is playing with fire. She can be prosecuted criminally, brought up on federal conspiracy charges. Marriage fraud is one of the top 5 crimes you can perpetrate, including terrorism and drugs. The fact that someone would be foolish enough to say they actually did it makes it actionable for the federal government to investigate, Wild said. Let me pause right there. I'm going to need to go and do a lot of research on Ilhan Omar, because there is a lot of rumors out there that she married her brother just so he could gain citizenship. If it's wrong for this California lady to do it, then it's wrong for Ilhan Omar, and I don't care that she's a sitting congresswoman. I just don't. Let me continue. Marrying someone to obtain a green card is a federal crime and can carry a 5-year prison sentence and up to a $250,000 fine, according to the Department of Justice. I looked that up on the website. The odd couple tied the knot on April the 5th in Utah, which allows marriages to be conducted via Zoom, according to records posted online by the Utah County Clerk and obtained by Israeli nonprofit NGO Monitor. That's an interesting concept there. Utah allows virtual marriages in which both parties aren't in the same location so long as they have secured a Utah County marriage license and provide valid ID and 2 witnesses who also don't have to be physically present in the state. And y'all thought Utah was conservative. The bride has a 5-year-old child with Derek J. Reed, 51, and an improv coach who also lives at her address, according to public records. Reed told the Post and other outlets that he and Pinho were domestic partners and never officially married, and that they're currently separated and the two sleep in different rooms at the same address. He said he had no knowledge of her marriage to Abu Amra. He said their relationship dissolved partially over Israel. She left the church the two used to attend together over its stance on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. She's been radicalized. I don't know anything about that. The crowd she runs with, I'm worried for her, Reed said. She organized a GoFundMe for Abu Amr just the month before marrying him, in which she claimed he was the primary caregiver for a family of 5. Quoting, his days are spent securing clean water and foraging for food for his family and helping them stay alive, Pinho asserted. She claims she first met her husband through mutual friends on Facebook and donated an undisclosed amount of money to him, and he proceeded to message her to say thanks. It is unclear if Abu Amr has come to the U.S. The Department of Homeland Security did not respond to the request for comment. Pinho heads her school's Students for Justice in Palestine club and bragged about her injecting her virulent anti-Israel politics into her dance curriculum. No, they don't sponsor me. Yes, I wish they would. She is quoted, "There is so much resistance in both the words and the movements of this song. So while I was instructing the students the actual steps of the dance, I would tell them the meaning, the significance of what the steps symbolize," the lefty teacher said. Of course, that prompted the question, well, why are they so connected to the land? And then I was able, because they asked the question, to share the history of what has happened to their land, she added. Pinho, whose school is part of the Los Angeles Unified School District, made $179,103 in pay and benefits as of 2024, according to public records. She boasts that she steered her students into radical anti-Israel protest. Students have rights, powers, and abilities. They do the fighting, they do the protesting, and we are there to guide them. This is the role that I have found as one of the co-sponsors actually for the Students of Justice in Palestine Club, she said. Pinho has a long history of anti-Semitic posts on social media. In December of 2025, she posted an image that stated that Israel was created by satanic bankers and that voiced neo-Nazi conspiracy theories that modern-day Jewish people and descendants from Khazars, a nomadic Turkish tribe, not ancient Israelites. In February, she posted an image of conspiratorial podcaster Candace Owens, who claimed that certain people killed Christians on Passover, with a quote attributed to her saying that America is ruled by satanic pedophiles who work for Israel. And she's wrong how? Pinho captioned the image. The newlyweds apparently have something in common. Abu Amrar posted an image on Facebook valorizing a Palestinian Islamic Jihad terrorist. Parents should be alarmed by this teacher's judgment, Navi Research Director Micah Hackner said. Pinho and the Los Angeles Unified School District did not return requests for comments. Let me break this down real quick. This woman made almost $180,000 as a teacher, as a dance teacher in California. She married a foreigner just so he could get his green card, which is against the law. She started I'm looking for the name of the club she started. She started a GoFundMe for Abu Amrar. I searched and could not find whether he had received anything, and if he did, how much it was. I couldn't find it. But she heads up her school Students for Justice in Palestine Club. Here's my problem. In the United States of America, you can have any club you want, but you can't have a Christian club. You can't have a prayer club. But you can have an anti-Christian club. You can have this is a hate club. That's what this is. This is the pure definition of a hate club. And my question is, if this woman feels so torn as an American, that she's so blessed to be born as an American, this and that, she's got to do, pack up your bags, buy you a $1,500, $1,600 plane ticket, fly over there. 7 days. I guarantee you'll come back with a different view. But you also need to understand that our media you're not hearing about this. This woman is 51 years old. She teaches high school. She started a pro-Palestinian club, anti-Jewish club, That's what it is. It is the pure definition of anti-Semitism. How is she getting away with this? You got to understand, under President Joseph R. I started calling him O. Biden. Under Joe Biden, President Biden had Christians arrested for doing a sit-down, sing-along in front of an abortion clinic. They called them terrorists, domestic terrorists, and arrested them. He also used the Department of Justice, weaponized it against parents who were speaking out at school boards against the homosexual type literature that was being promoted in their libraries for their children. We're talking 6th graders or below. He sent a letter, his administration sent a letter to the Department of Justice wanting them to classify these parents as domestic terrorists. But this woman here can be absolutely radical. And we're paying her $180,000 a year to teach children at a high school. Marry a guy from Palestine just so he can get his green card. The baby daddy, for lack of better words, says that she's been radicalized and that, she quit going to church and that they're just domestic partners. Well, listen, I think his name was Reed. I forget if it's his last name. Mr. Reed. Let me explain something to you. The fact that y'all were domestic partners and never married, and you're going to church. I mean, don't get me wrong. You're going to church. I get it. But you got a 5-year-old child. You didn't marry. So you're going to church, but you're not living the scripture. And you question how radical she is, I would probably say y'all are cut from the same cloth, just not probably radicalized on the same things. But you can't speak of religion you can't pray to God and ask for forgiveness, whether it be for sexual stuff, whether it be for financial stuff, whether it be for, whatever the case may be. You cannot pray to God for forgiveness at 9 a.m. in the morning. And then at 9 o'clock at night, you're on the internet involved in whatever it is you're involved in. That's not how prayer and forgiveness works. At least not by my Bible. You got to walk by faith. You've got to live by faith. You got to be disciplined by faith. And listen, I get it. That's your partner. You love her. Things happen. She got radicalized. I want to know what your pastor's been preaching. Because as I've said so many times, you can't go to a church where your pastor is preaching a Republican or a Democratic King James version of the Bible. You just can't. You cannot stand in front of your parishioners and not explain to them the difference between the Israelites of the faith and the Israelites of the flesh. Because they ain't the same. The Israelites of the faith are God's chosen people. The Israelites of the flesh are the group of people who are controlling everything. Your media, your academia, your economy, the entertainment business. But we have pastors out there that only want to preach about one side. Because supposedly, if you're a Republican pastor only the Republicans are holy and the Democrats are all sinners. And if you're a Democrat pastor, only the Democrats are holy and the Republicans are all sinners. And then you got people like this woman who listen to a corrupt pastor that won't preach fire and brimstone, because if he did, they probably wouldn't be domestic partners. They would be a married couple. I ain't preaching to nobody. I got no room to preach. I'm not a theologian. I'm not a pastor. I ain't here to Bible thump nobody. I'm just calling it the way it is. And when I stand before my Maker, He's going to tell me how it is too, because I've made a lot of mistakes in my lifetime. And I'm going to have to answer for every single one of those. I don't understand how we can censor some people in this country and not censor others. I don't understand how we can have elected officials in our forget federal. I don't know how we can have elected officials on any level of government that aren't born here in the United States. The Constitution, we will not, let me back up. In the United States of America, if you are not born here, you are not able to serve as President of the United States. You have to be born here to be able to run for president. If that is the case, then how come we allow people to serve in the House and the Senate on the federal level, and we let them serve on the state level, and we let them serve on the city and the county levels, local levels, right? When are you going to wake up and realize that it ain't Democrat or Republican that's killing us? It's both. Because they got you brainwashed into believing that one's better than the other. And you have forgotten how to be an American. Because no American would do what this lady's doing. Listen, I hate the things that are going on over in Gaza the way it is. I hate the things happen in Africa. You know, when I grew up in the 80s, you had all of the pop and country and R&B singers come together for the "We Are the World" song, right? And I hate it. I hate that things go on all over the globe the way it does. But as an American, we cannot be the welfare check for everybody. We cannot do what we've always done, which is go over and get in everybody's business and get in a war. We only do that because these people own us. They're blackmailing our politicians. Every single person, I'm not going to say every single person, but I think there's all but 95 elected officials in Washington, D.C. that are funded by AIPAC, Republican and Democrat, 233 on the right, 207 on the left, which means that the American Israeli Political Action Committee owns 83% of your elected officials. You cannot be an American if you are supporting these people. You cannot be a pastor if you're sitting there preaching anything but fire and brimstone. If you're preaching a Republican side or you're preaching a Democratic side, God bless you, because God's going to hold you accountable on Judgment Day for that too. I believe that in my heart. All of these people are corrupt. You cannot sit in the president's seat in the Oval Office and not be corrupt, not be morally bankrupt. I just don't believe you can anymore. I don't believe you can be an effective legislator on the federal or the state level unless you're corrupted. And you're not really being effective. You're just doing what your lobbyists and your NGOs and special interest groups have basically paid you off to do. I have a friend that lives in California. I'm going to hit him up after this podcast. This woman has no business teaching high school. They're brainwashing our college kids as it is. We all know they're brainwashing public schools too. And they're brainwashing our high schoolers, our middle schoolers, and our elementary kids. At some point, something's got to give. And if this right here doesn't piss you off as an American, something's wrong with you. And if you can look at this and say, yeah, them Democrats, that's what... Stop. I just got through doing 2 episodes on Jared Kushner, who has taken $2 billion from the Saudis, and he's taken $1.5 million from UAE and Qatar. It's both sides. They're anti-American. It's about power and control, corruption, compromise. And they're all complicit in covering it all up. While they sit there as the little puppet masters, making you dance around like a puppet through Fox, through MS Now, through CNN, through the Young Turks, through ABC and CBS. It's all the same. Cut it off. Stop listening to the American media. Start getting your media from over the pond. I promise you, you'll get a more... It's boring, as I said, but it's more accurate. It's more factual. This is ludicrous. We're all just one accident, one diagnosis, or one unexpected call away from living a much different life. I implore you, stay humble, be kind, show your love, and go check on your people. Until I see you on the next episode, take care.